Well, this is Drawing with Jack here with Caleb Marazi, known to my friends as Skip, and to the rest of my family as Caleb. We are here with no Jack tonight, which is not usual, of course. But he says he's having some internet trouble and he's going to tune in as soon as he can. If you're new to the show, this is where we get together on generally Sunday and Tuesday. Today is Tuesday and Thursday this week. We might be switching over to that with Drawing with Jack. And we get together and draw with my friend Jack Haynes, who is a very talented illustrator. If you haven't seen some of his work since we're here all together, I'm going to pull some up for you. That, I'm sorry, unfortunately is, oh, sorry, let me screen share with you real quick so that you guys can follow along. Video, if you want to. There we go. Here we go. Ah, there you are. Welcome to the show.
There I am.
So this, everyone who is tuning in, this is my mom, Susie Manci, and Suzette Manci, and this is her first time on any podcast anywhere, I believe, right?
Yeah, even first time listening to a podcast. So,
yeah. So welcome. You probably caught the intro. We're actually drawing without Jack tonight so far because he is having some internet issues. So he should be tuning in shortly, and the guys should be popping in. They generally pop in about 7:35 or later. But welcome. So how about do you want to just give a little intro of yourself? What do you do? Where are you from?
right now I'm currently from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Clarksville, Tennessee, which is a fantastic city. If you guys haven't been there, you can visit my parents anytime, as long as you're being nice. If you're not, don't go there. That won't be good.
Yeah.
And you are a teacher.
I am a teacher in a autism classroom for high schoolers.
I think that is a really, really cool job. Something that if I wasn't, drawn to the skills that I have, that I would enjoy doing as well. What brought you into teaching? What was like the thing that started you doing that?
Well, no, I just always wanted to be a teacher.
Like since you were little?
Yes, since I was little. Definitely in high school.
All right. So tell me the story then. What was it the time that you realized, like, what were you doing where you were like, oh yeah, this is it. I want to be a teacher. I don't think I've heard this story.
I don't know that there was a definitive thing. I think my mom was a teacher, and I think she always just like dragged us into her stuff.
So she was teaching, and so
kids.
Right, and that's the thing that I have noticed about you. If you're tuning in right now, this is my mom, and we're getting to talk together on Drawing with Jack. But it's that I think that you like being around kids. Like I think that the teaching part for you is a skill that you have, so that you have the ability to just mold young minds and be a positive influence early in people's lives. Is that true?
Well, I try.
But that's, I mean, like you say you try, which means that's the goal, right? Like that's your intention when you walk into a classroom and meet like a new fresh face of kids every year.
No, I'd probably go in there to find out what they can teach me more than what I can teach them.
That is interesting. So is that why you like to like have children in your life? Because you do seem to have, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You're welcome to correct me. These are just assumptions that I've made about you. But you just seem to really like to be around kids. In the best way.
Yes.
So, and then my guess was that you like to be around kids because you like to shape minds, but that's not true. You just said that you like to be around kids because you like to learn what they know about the world. Is that right?
I like to know what they know about the world, but I also like their viewpoint of the world is so pure.
Yes. High five to you for that. Yeah. Right. Like they're people at their most raw.
Yes.
Right.
And they're excited about the world. And then we're in it.
Yeah. it is far too easy to get caught up in everything that we know about the world and have it weigh us down, right? But it's good to remember. I think that's what you're reminding, is that it's good to remember that when we were first born, we enjoyed what we saw.
Yes.
Is that
Well,
right?
everything is new and exciting, and oh, look at that. Yeah. Okay, look at your niece, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
She's a
So it's just a side story. So we went to my grandma's funeral this last week, and it was amazing. One of the things that was amazing about it is that I got to hang out with my 3 year old. She's three, right?
yeah, yeah,
Three-year-old niece. And what my mom is describing here is the most fun, like, favorite memories that I saved from the trip. So first of all, going to my grandma's funeral was very, very important to me because I love that woman very much. And she, like,
yeah,
her nature of who she was just so good that you can see that it spread to all of her children.
yeah,
And one of her children is my dad. And so I get to hang out with him. And so just like hanging out with him, and like that he wants to spread goodness to the world also. So like it was just important to go see her at the funeral. But that's a side note. But some of my favorite memories were getting to hang out with my niece, who I'm gonna not dox because this is gonna be a public. We won't say her name um, for
oh,
for sake of privacy. Just because she doesn't have the ability to choose to be on the internet yet. Once she does have the ability to choose, I'd love to like talk to her, but like at this point, she's a little kid. So we're not going to mention her name, or I'll have to edit it, which is fine. I can edit it if we have to.
yeah, edit it. I think I said it.
Oh, well, that's fine. But hanging with my niece was the most memorable thing because she was looking at everything all the time. There was never a moment that she wasn't exploring the world around her or trying to interact with her environment. And me personally, as a creator, like it's been my philosophy for a long time that we're in the image of God, and God is a creator. And so that our image, the image that we reflect of God is that we like to interact with our world and create and enjoy the environment. Like we see and we like play with it. That's the act of creation, in my opinion, right? So, and just seeing
Well, what
that,
interact with it?
yeah, and
What's
seeing
my
her
part in
interact
it?
with that, right? Like and it's like just seeing her, like she has no biases at this point. She has no idea in her mind what is good or what is bad. She has opinions, right, that shape her world, right? Because she does. Which is really, it was one of the things I found the most fascinating about interacting with her, as I remember interacting with my two sisters too, because I was 10 years older than them. So I got to see them grow up too. But like how it is that people just exist, like they have a personality and they interact with the world. I've said a lot.
Yes, but
I was just
hey,
sharing the joys. Yeah. So you're saying that
but
that is,
she doesn't want to hear it. That's kind of opinionated.
yeah. Well, that's it's so fascinating that people
No?
come pre-programmed with personalities. Is one of the things I love to note about children is because like as soon as they can start walking and talking, they are who they are. And like one of the
Yeah.
fascinating things is I got to like see my two sisters who are now all grown up. One of them's married. One of them is, like she's grown into her own style and is who she is. And then I look at both of them, I'm like, you're the exact same kids that you were when you're tiny. You're just real big now.
Yeah.
And so like
That's
just
that's
seeing
not
that too, like, oh man. So just I'm gonna shout out to my grandma just for her for having a great family, because that was a fantastic event to be a part of, because was just reminded like the importance of what family is, right? Like first of
yeah.
all, and then the joy that we bring to see each other, because in that family, not everyone's family is like that. We just enjoy being around each other. Like it doesn't matter what we're doing or like what's going on. Like we like every single one of the brothers and sisters in that. I'm gonna bleed it out. Family, I know. They just really enjoy being together. So, and that's not true for every family. And so it was a great thing to celebrate.
Good family, great family. They did an amazing job with 7 kids.
Yeah,
But
and
see the diversity,
seven kids who
like
love each
even
other.
to right?
I'm sorry, I
You
missed
don't
what you
have
said.
cookie cut.
Yeah, they let them all be who they were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're all different.
and they
Yeah.
take great joy in that. And that's the thing that
Yes.
like I was like, oh yeah, that's right, because that's where I come from. Like that's the thing that we enjoy too, is like just being the little weirdos that we are. And one of the things I got to admire about just sitting there is that every single one of them loves to create things. And it doesn't matter
Yes.
what, if they have time on their hands, they're creating something. And I was like, yeah, me too. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this is my family because we love to do this. Like if we have time on our hands, we make stuff, right? Same with you. I'm sure that you saw that too. Like you're like, oh yeah, I got time on my hands. I'm gonna start crafting something. I'm gonna start building something. So that's
Yes.
yeah, that's being a part of that is really important and special. So I see why you when you work with kids, that's what you get to be with every day, right? At least to some degree, those little ones. Do you see that so much as much with like the autistic kids that you work with?
Um, I, that's a little bit more molding. Although I
Okay.
do enjoy, they have that simplicity about them.
Hmm.
I do like that.
Okay.
I do like they see the world in a way different way than we do, and probably much more simplistic than we do.
Hmm.
And I actually love going to be a part of their lives, and I mean, I do probably mold them more than I did my littles because
Interesting.
they're high school and they have to be out in the world.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, because
but getting
you're trying to make them.
older,
I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I remembered. Let me back up a little bit. I remember that you had worked as a kindergarten teacher before, right? Young kids.
17 years.
That's what you used to do. Yeah, and then you've now moved into the more grown up kids. So I always assume, like in my brain, it's you work with like preschoolers and first graders. But so
That's
that's
what
interesting. So
I said, K through 3 certified, and they're like, it's the same thing. They're just bigger, and they are.
okay, all right. So
Like,
then, yeah, that's interesting. I was actually just going to ask you that. So compare contrast. So
yes,
kids versus autistic, almost adults. Pros and cons.
simple. What you see is what you see. You know.
Oh, like they're not trying to like mess with you. They don't have like an alternate agenda. Is that what you mean?
No, they don't.
Okay.
What they see is what they see. It's that simple. It's a very
So,
I my routine. I need my I need my crayon. I need my 10 o'clock break for a snack. If I don't get it, the world's just gone awry.
right.
You
That
know,
is fair.
but it's simple stuff. It's not. I'm not trying to outthink them.
Um,
Older kids, you have to try to outsmart them and think about, okay, where are you going with this?
right.
But they also teach me. It's like you're right. It's that simple.
You mean because of the way that they view the world? Now there is a lot of discourse. I just realized about the term autistic. So, if do you mind
Oh,
defining for me what you mean? Like, what type of kids do you have in your class? Are they to the point that the autism is impairing them, or is it all levels of the spectrum? What exactly what defines autism for you? I mean, from the perspective of as the
they're all.
teacher.
I think I'm probably like using a different term. They're all Asperger's, so they're
Okay,
all on the spectrum.
so let me ask you
Some of
another
them,
refining question if I could. So that was a good answer. The so what qualifies them to be in your class specifically? The Asperger's, do they need like a
um,
medical diagnosis?
yes,
Okay.
they have to have a diagnosis. Some of them are Asperger's, autism, whatever you want to say, but they actually call it the autism program. But they could have ADHD with it. I've got one that's dyslexic.
Okay.
We have low functioning autism down to, maybe their second, third grade level, all the way up to they're going to get their high school diploma. They just need help socially and to navigate classrooms.
Huh.
So
Okay.
there, we've got the whole spectrum.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. So again, so autism in let me see if I'm gonna define it and see if tell me how correct this is. If you don't mind. Is a hyper awareness of the reality around them to the point that it's overwhelming? Is that like a good is that
Well,
a broad enough circle, or I mean, there's some disabilities that include dyslexia and ADHD, and those can play into it too. Uh,
right.
what is it? I'm asking basically, what does it look like to you from your perspective from these for these kids?
That's a good question. I've never thought to kind of make a description of it.
Gotcha.
I think a lot of times the brain is so overloaded with um, just input
Hmm.
that the brain can't. function to what we call normal, which isn't, there's not a normal.
Now,
But I think that is an sense overload of whatever
that's the question,
that
yeah,
they
of
can't.
whatever, because you said that they look at things from a different perspective too, from like a simpler perspective. And
Yeah.
are you talking because they don't have like an internal language in their brain, or this is not? I'm going to back up and not actually give the example I was going to give, but more. So when because you were comparing autism to like the way that children are, right?
Yes.
So the way that
Maybe it's
a child's brain is that it's like unshielded, right? Like it hasn't grown layers on top of its layers. Do you think that that's
right. It doesn't to make higher decisions. It's just very, the tabula rasa thing, where they don't have anything in there. I don't know if I believe that, but
wait, what's the tabula rasa
um,
thing?
well, that you're born with a blank slate. That's what that means.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
But the thoughts and the ideas but you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, that little
I don't know. Yeah,
he's got
if you see any kids anywhere, yeah, they're pre-programmed with at least a fraction of personality that then the events of
yeah,
their life build on top of. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
yes,
not you might not say from the womb because they're just basically trying to sleep and grow and like pass food, but like once they start, like you can see they're having ideas. It's
yes.
distinct. Like it's their own thing.
Well, even her. Okay, so like at 7 months old, when she was at her brother's graduation, she was like getting all kind. She was with me in the seats, and she's kind of getting all fussy. She wanted her daddy. As soon as he picked her up, she turned around and went,
To you,
it's
like
like, what the heck
gave you a
how does
face,
a seven do
right?
that?
So hang on, time out. Because here's the comparison that you made was that they have like a wide-eyed observational level. The autistic kids you work with now have a wide-eyed observational level of a child. But you're saying that they're not able to have a social, that like they don't seem to understand social functioning. Is that correct?
I well, that's on a spectrum as well.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yes,
don't mean to like back you into a corner, obviously, because it is a spectrum that runs the gambit, right? That's gonna be
varying
another question that I
levels.
have for you. But but you also just pointed out that a 3-year old can also have sass, which this
Yeah,
3-year old does, and she understands
and they
like I saw her playing social games with people. Like she did things
yes.
because she knew that she would get a reaction from it, right?
Okay, so she's all right. So she's very, very smart. Like,
Hmm.
and not because she's a grandkid, but if when I was talking to somebody that I hadn't met, she introduced her health, and the granddaughter said, "You're a grandma,"
Hmm.
because all older women are grandmas.
Hmm.
She'll even at the store, "That's a grandma, that's a grandma." She said, "Yes, I'm a grandma." And I told the lady that I just met, "This is my granddaughter." And I told her name. She's like, "Well, nice to meet you." Then we turned around. She said, "I'm a grandkid." Now, we didn't put those words on there. She did that herself.
Yeah, she made the combination. I saw her do that. Yeah, and then yeah, also like
I,
the way that you said that once my brother picked her up and
yeah,
she made the face at you, right? Because
yeah,
she
she
understood
like,
that it was causing a reaction in you.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
she, I want my daddy. I just got him. I'm going to fuss until I get him.
Hmm.
And you're not going to keep me here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ha. And she goes, ha, I got what I want. Like that's what the face is, right?
the look on her face was like,
Right.
and everybody in the row was watching the whole thing and they all started laughing. It's like, yep, she won.
Yeah. That's
She's okay.
right.
Yeah.
So like, but
Well,
then you
I
say
come
autistic
in
people
and
are not able to do that though.
to an extent and the varying degree, yes.
On a spectrum.
Oh,
Okay, I got you.
we have one guy who is, oh, he's kind of snarky. He can make jokes. He can rib you. Oh my gosh, he's hysterically funny.
Because
It's like you
his
didn't know.
fixation. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Well, one student, he's graduated already. He used to. we used to have fun, and we had a running joke, is he would call me his senior citizen.
Oh yeah.
I was his favorite citizen,
Favorite senior citizen.
and I was my whippersnapper. So wherever we were,
He's a
he'd
young
say,
whippersnapper.
"Yeah." He would just like, we were in the courtyard one time, and he was just walking past me in between classes. He goes, "Senior citizen." Started laughing, and then the other teacher says, "What?" I said, "No, that's just my whippersnapper."
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
same.
I've had a bunch of autistic friends. Some of them diagnosed, some of them I just looked at them and guessed because of their habits and behaviors that they fall into that category. But that was one of the things that I've never seen, like cracking jokes, right? And having
Yeah.
callbacks, and then as soon as they hit, like they're reminded of the joke, they can just like whip out that joke again. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So we have one student who he listens very carefully, and he will do catchphrases like the words you use all the time.
Mhm.
That's how he identifies you.
Oh,
Like
wow.
when I would work with, be like trying to pull the wool over my eyes that he didn't know how to do something,
Mhm.
I'd say, "Oh, really?" And my eyes would get,
Eh,
and so a lot of times I'd go, "Oh, really?"
oh, really? Yeah, because
But he does that all the people he sees.
he's playing back your
He'll
sound to
say
you.
them exactly, and he will tell you their catchphrase.
That's
Or kind of social thing, right?
right.
Different.
Yeah, that's interesting. So he's not using it correctly. Like you're supposed to like absorb that information and just know that about them, but he's just like he's putting it in the same place that he puts it, your face. Like he's like, oh, the face, and that's to say, oh, really?
Yeah. And he will do that with people he's known a long time ago.
Oh,
Like people like on staff who aren't there anymore, and they'll come back and visit, and he'll go, "Oh," and he will tell you the things they said. He will use those phrases
because
like years later.
it's just stuck. That's his. It's stuck in his brain, in that one
It's
spot.
almost like how he identifies us.
So you said that you were working with these kids to get them able to be on the outside world.
Yeah.
What first are their struggles? You don't have to tell me specifics about your kids, but like what's the general thing that they're going to be struggling with when they get out into the real world?
Well, some of it will be like the social stuff, like
Okay,
how do I interact with people, like as an adult, not as a little kid.
right,
So you got
right.
to get their social to snuff, right?
Okay,
Not up to snuff, to where they can function well. And for me, I don't want them to be a target.
gotcha. Okay, because you don't want to be bullied in the workplace or socially
Or
ostracized or pigeonholed.
yeah, or they're the brunt of the joke, or we kind of like pick on that person, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word.
Well, it happens in any so like everywhere is high school, unfortunately, unless you meet a bunch of really cool people. Like if you can make like a group that's just like fun to be around, then it's not high school anymore. But for the most part, no matter where you go, most people are still in high school. So
Oh,
that's how a lot of the world will work. So
yeah.
social interaction is one of them. What do you think are some of the other big challenges when you start working your curriculum at the beginning of the year? You start thinking about like what they're going to need to when they get out of your class.
Well, they don't need to be. They need to do basic reading and writing, like life
Okay.
skill reading and writing. What do
So
they do?
like you mean life skill, like basic sentences where they understand how to write an email, for instance, and then to take the little words out of that and understand what it means to like how to create a shopping list out of somebody's text request to you. Okay.
And we'll do that. Well, not a lot of them. They're not on tech because it's some
Well,
of
if you
them
have
aren't. Some of them
dyslexia
aren't.
for one, that's going to throw it.
That would, but even like I don't have the ability to be on the computer and understand it, and it also wouldn't be safe.
You mean they have that feeling, or they don't have the ability to be in.
Don't have the ability to be on there and understand, like we understand the power of a computer, right? And communication and getting into different areas.
Yeah, yeah.
But if
The
you watch
society is out there,
SpongeBob,
right?
that's your, that's real, and you go around quoting SpongeBob, there's too much vulnerability, I think.
Oh, because they absorb stuff so quickly and it becomes like part of who they are. Like if a guy is
They don't.
quoting a lot of catchphrases, then he's getting the catchphrases from YouTube SpongeBob
Yeah, and how
or
real does he
memes.
think that is?
Right.
I mean, that's his world, and he thinks that's real.
Right.
I mean, if one kid wants to grow up and be a pirate, is that okay?
I mean, in some cases, piracy is totally fine, especially if they're keeping information kept away from you that, and they won't let you share it. Or lost, in the case of lost media, I think piracy is a great idea. On old consoles that have become obsolete that are ROMs, you should totally pirate those things because you can't get them any other way, and you should definitely play those games.
Okay.
If you're an orc and it's a billionaire's yacht, you should totally be a pirate at that time and just crash into the billionaire's yacht and sink it. So, I mean, there's options. What I'm saying for this kid, if he wants to be a pirate, there's options. He could do it, or he could be the next Jacques Cousteau. You know what I mean? Like his fascination with being a pirate could take him to the ocean, and he could be like, "Oh yeah, let's get fixated on how deep we can get." You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what
Yeah.
that dork did. I mean, like, I don't know if he had Asperger's or autism, but like, the great ideas come from people getting fixated on things.
You should be surprised because my first year there, our students put up a like we researched, and we had some other like from Gen Ed, the general population kids were aides in my room, and we found all kinds of people that were on the spectrum from one end to the other,
Like
and you'd be
famous
surprised.
people throughout history. Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, autism's on the rise," and I'm like, I don't know. Have you ever read a history book? Because it seems like a lot of these guys are freaks. Because like, I mean, that's just how they are too. Like George Washington Carver is one of your favorite dudes, right? But like the guy got fixated on peanuts. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure he's on the spectrum because he was just like, what can I do with a peanut? And just like and he found all the uses that you could make out of it. You know what I mean? Like
I would not put him on the
I
spectrum.
don't know. I'm just cracking wise here. That's just cracking wise.
Yeah,
But like
I think
I
that's
mean
kind of
like
a fact, right? George
no, I'm
Washington Carver.
sorry. Let's fact check this. I'm not the fact check guy. There's other people who do the fact checking for me. I just crack jokes to like make people laugh. You really
Okay.
shouldn't take anything. This is the only fact you should take. You should never really take anything I'm saying super seriously unless I'm saying it repeatedly and I'm like, yes, I believe this is a fact because otherwise it's probably just a joke. So
Okay.
back on
Just
track.
disclaimer.
Just a
Yeah.
disclaimer
Okay.
to anyone who's listening in the future to drawing with
Yeah.
Jack without Jack. So
With my mom who can't draw. I draw great stick figures. That's me.
that's yeah. So you said that they need to get like basic interaction and they need like basic reading and writing skills.
And
Uh,
math,
I'm
they have
sorry,
to
yeah,
try.
basic reading,
Translate.
writing, and math skills. Those basics to make sure that they can take
Right.
care of their finances and that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
I call it. Can I go to the store and spend money?
Right.
Yes. Do I have money to spend? Yes. Okay. So we want them employed. Do you know that 80% of autistic people are not employed?
I did not know that.
I didn't know
Why?
that either until
Why is that?
I don't know.
Um,
And what? I mean, is that across the spectrum? I don't know. I just found
eh,
that statistic this last spring, and I'm like,
where
what?
where did you find that statistic?
Well, I don't know if I could cite the place because it's written down somewhere, but
Okay, I got you.
just on
Um,
doing of okay, I think I was looking at jobs, probably jobs for people with autism,
okay,
across the board,
okay.
because we do have to be employable, and it's like I'm reading these statistics, like 80% of them are not even employed. I'm like, wait, what?
Was that like
Because
from
my thing,
a government
um,
source, or was that like
no,
from
it
an
wasn't a
article?
government site.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
okay.
it was, or probably a special ed site.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So my at them, I mean, I'm teaching them job skills, teaching them life skills. Like my big thing right now is to get the general population of students to really have to come face to face with these students. And they learn communication skills and social skills dealing with people with not, okay, we can't say disabilities, but special needs, whatever you want to call it.
who see the world differently, right?
Call it
Yeah, there's people who have a very different viewpoint from you, even the way they experience life, right? Like we kind of
yeah,
take that for granted. But I mean, that's true in so many ways. I mean, there's people who are partially deaf that you don't know if they're
yeah,
deaf. There's people who are colorblind around you that you don't know are colorblind. There's people around you who have synesthesia, who are seeing colors and sounds, and you don't know that that's their experience. I mean, also we could talk about just some biological basics too, like women. There's women around you right now, like wherever you gone in the world, who are on their period right now and are cramping up real bad, and right, and it hurts, and they're like, they're bloated and they're gassy and they hate it, right? That's happening right now, like, and you don't know. So like, what I'm saying is like getting used to the fact that people around you are not seeing things from your point of view is a really really important skill. My buddy Jack Haynes, how are you doing, man?
What's up? What's up?
Meet my mother. This is Susie Manci. She is
hi,
a guest on our show today. How are you?
Okay.
surprise guest on your show.
Welcome to Drawing with
Hi,
Jack. It's
Susie.
now Here with Jack.
Yeah, about that. Apparently, we have had some kind of equipment failure.
What?
So,
Okay,
yeah,
so do
like,
you mind just chatting about that real quick? Just what is going on? How does the internet
well,
go
it
down
seems
in
like,
Chicago?
Comcast, their modem router combo thing, is like overheated, and like they like my roommate that's in control of the internet account because it's in his name.
Ah,
He's been on the phone with them. They've done tests, pinged it, and everything. They can't ping it, so they're saying that they looks like it's broken.
oh,
They're
I
gonna
got
see if
you.
they can.
It's a device problem. It's not like the internet is down. I apologize. I blew that way out of
Yeah,
proportion. I was like,
no
I
problem.
mean, solar flare?
Yeah, it's
Is
our
it
modem.
Iran?
It's our
What is
modem.
going? Like, but no, you
Yeah,
mean
it's
just
our,
just
yeah,
the router is down.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
The modem router,
gotcha.
the tower thing that they
Yeah,
give you. So
understood.
they're gonna see if they can send somebody out with like a new one. There's someone. I mean, they're really close by. So, but of
Okay,
course they have to do everything with their. So you may not get one until like tomorrow or so. I don't know. I joined the I joined the channel just to let you know what was going on. But yeah, like seems like our equipment has had a critical failure.
that is totally fine. Let's get together on Sunday. You're welcome to come chat with us if you want to. Uh, but
Okay.
I mean, yeah, like or if you're like, oh, he just showed up, and like we're still on.
Yeah.
Come hang out. That's yeah. But
I didn't want to like I didn't want to say anything to you until I knew what was going on. So I
oh,
made
thank you.
myself some dinner. So I'm gonna have so I'm gonna have my dinner now. Like I have a
Okay,
salad right here in front of me. But
okay. Then
if
let's just
anything changes, I'll let you know immediately.
yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
let's just
otherwise
do
it looks
Sunday,
like I'll
man.
see you on
Yeah,
Sunday.
don't sweat. Enjoy your
Okay.
dinner, eat, and yeah, we'll catch up on Sunday.
Cool.
All right.
Nice to meet you, Susie.
You
I'll
too,
see you
Jack.
guys later.
See you later.
Bye.
So that's Jack Haynes, and we are drawing without Jack. So
Oh, he has no
that
internet.
that is what it is. I it's so funny. I guess they had internet before, because they did seem to have gotten together. So I'm hoping that everything will be fine. It will be back on schedule after this. This is just a small hiccup. Audience, comment below if you like the episodes that I was gone on, because there's at least one or two that should be floating around, and how you like the show. I mean, maybe it could just be drawing with Jack, and I could just do other things on my evenings. So let me know about
Drawing with
that.
Jack, surprise friends.
What's that?
Drawing with Jack or surprise friends.
Yeah, or surprise friends. I mean, it's always
Welcome back to Drawing with Jack.
it is always going on. Sorry about that. Let's share this instead. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, maybe if we just hang out, the other guys will show up, and you'll get to meet the whole crew. Um,
Okay.
in the meantime, we're going to watch Jack draw the episode called "Witness This Beach," which is the last episode that I was on. There will be some updates here. Um,
Maybe I can learn to draw.
Well, that's the idea with this show is that, as you watch my man flick around on the screen and put his pen to paper, You get to learn a couple things that you may not have noticed before. And I don't know if you can learn through osmosis, if that's an actual thing that can be done. But I think there's something in the human psyche that does find it easier to do a thing once it's shown. Maybe that's just me. Or like, like there's types of people that are like that. You can comment below if you want to. If you're that type of person. But yeah, seeing something happen, in real time, right in front of my eyes, is definitely the best learning tool that I've seen. Yeah, I mean, it works. So like I learned to shade by watching Jack shade previously. Like watching the details that he puts on the screen. Say it again.
Are you going to grab a pen and pencil and join, or a pencil
No,
and paper?
I wouldn't be
Come on.
so I wouldn't be so audacious to think that I could draw as good as Jack. But just the concepts, they're fun to learn, and I think that people who enjoy drawing, who are much better than I am, be enthused at the things that he can do, because his level is really high in my opinion. Like the way he plays with light on screen, on top of the illustrations that he's drawn, and shadows, is like a whole other level. Jack maybe in the future may see this, but I'm not just trying to like pump him up. Like to me, he's got like an astounding level of the way that he does it. It's like when you see Michelangelo do stuff with light, the way that he plays it on canvas, or like that, that's what he's capable of doing. We're lucky that he put it into our gravity well, because it just makes it really, really awesome. So the thing that they're looking at in the upper left hand corner, you've probably seen some of the images for it, is the gravity well where Pussy Paradise has been sucked into, and it's a fold in space that's crumbled in on itself. And he just, I mean, because he had light coming from the inside of it, it just gives it this like je ne sais quoi, it's just like, it's alive. So now back to you, if that's okay.
Oh,
Oh,
I
no.
was going to get a drawing lesson.
Oh, all right. I mean, if you want to draw with them, I mean, maybe that will be an aid. So you're saying, because I find this conversation really fascinating, actually, as a person who might be on the spectrum myself, but then also knows that there's a lot of nerds out there who are, who like to watch videos, who are on the spectrum themselves, so like this sort of thing, getting to hear this sort of thing from somebody who's involved and actually cares about people like them. And I'm not trying to single them out, but I just want to like comment that they have a unique way of existing. It is very different from a large percentage of the population. So, like someone who is blind or deaf, or colorblind or synesthesia, has those things going on with them. Like it's just a different way of existing. So you said, okay, so yeah, interaction, and that's why I'm like, like I'm interested in having this conversation, because I think the people who are going through that might find some benefit from it as well, because here we have at least someone who's a professional in the field, if not an expert on gaining expertise on the subject. So
well, I don't know, expert in the field.
Well, you're a professional, right? Who's working in the field, which is someone who cares about them, right? And then also, is trying to do the best they can, working from where they are, not in judgment, but because you want to see them do well.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So anybody with any kind of difference from us, I think we're scared of them. They're different. And does that shed light on me that I'm different?
Right.
And different is easy for people, right?
Well, then it makes people uncomfortable because they stand out of the crowd, and the lonely penguin freezes, right? I mean, it's a very hardcore, like coded into us that we need to stick together and not stand out. There's also the thing, this is a theory, I'm just going to side trail on it because we have a little time, if that's okay. But there's a theory that the reason that we're scared of the others that look like us is because there was one time where hominids and Neanderthals were living side by side. They've found historical digs where that's the case. They found that and there's people with DNA that has both hominid and Neanderthal DNA in it. That they were at one time, they were intermingled as a species, but they were essentially like wild humans, close enough to be familiar to us, and like we could communicate with them, but then at the same time they were terrifying because they were also just animals. there's a whole bunch of legends that we create about them, the Bigfoot and the wild man and all this stuff. Anyway, so I'm just throwing that out as an aside. But I think that, but like it's in agreement to the fact that you're like, people are scared of what is different than them.
Yes.
And that was a sidetrack to say, and I think it's hard coded into us. So if we want people to not be scared about it, they have to look at it, non-confrontationally and like recognize that people with autism are people, that they want love and they have needs and they want to be useful, because that's what all people want. Did I sum up Maslow good enough, or did I miss something?
No, I think though, but I think you have to take it further. I think you have to say, them aside, maybe they're just the most glaring visibility of difference. But
okay, good. And I'm glad that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm glad that you're actually saying it. People are all different, and that's one of the things I was trying to point out is you don't know when somebody's going through something, because people's minds and bodies are complex, and they're almost always going through them. The things I didn't mention along that, because I was like using all the mental things that I was mentioning. That I mentioned the women's physical, but like also people with endometriosis, or people with where the end of their bowels have rotted away, Crohn's disease. Right? People with weak hearts and missing organs, right? And then that's not even to talk about the social experiences we've had, where a number of people have gone through abusive situations in the past that have made them rough people, or have met people that were not good to them. And so everybody is different. And so we get scared when we see something's different because we don't want to admit that we are different, is what you're saying.
We don't want to come face to face with our differences. Yes.
Okay.
There's a saying that I heard since I started working in like full time in the autism room, and they're like, when you've met a person with autism, you've met one person with autism.
That is correct. I would also
they're
say
all different.
If you've met one person, you've met one person.
Well, one of us is all different.
Right.
That's right.
You can apply that.
Is completely different than everybody else.
If you've met one Iranian, you've met one Iranian. If you've met one black person, you have only met one black person, right? And then also that goes in groups too. If you've met 12, you've met 12 unique individuals of those groups. And that's all you can say. You might be able to draw some generalities, but like not very well without a lot of exceptions. That's just facts with all people, right? Autistic people in general. Thank you for not letting me generalize them earlier, because that is 100% true. And I have to say I appreciate that about my autistic friends, is that they are some of the most unique people I have ever met. Like, it's like humanity. This might be what you're getting at. I just had this idea, so that's why I interrupted myself. But it's like humanity turned up to like to a certain degree in some ways, right? Like just that seeingness, like their eyes are open and they're like just taking in the world.
Yes. Do you know that when you saw this week when the little one went and said, she just gets so focused on one thing. I've got to have this one thing.
Yeah. And
so we go somewhere, but she's like, wait a minute, I'm busy here.
I'm doing the thing.
And as people, we don't, like as big people are like, no, we got to go. Same thing with, anybody with all of us really, not all just people with autism or whatever, but we all need to like, give me 5 minutes, wait. We don't just drop our stuff and go. We plan it. Okay, now I'm finished with this. Now I'm going to go to the store. We need to do that with little people. We need to do that with our neighbor. We need to do that with autistic and not autistic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We need to do that with all people, to give them some fair warning.
I think he had cerebral palsy. Absolutely. He could do amazing things and think differently, but we had to slow down because of his physical. And it was like having to slow down.
Now, you don't
in the day to relate to him, to just walk with him. Why are we in a rush? Slow down. Uh-oh. I think
You
I'm here all by myself now.
are you?
Skip, where did you go?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. It's really a bad connection.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, I'm here. Monologue time.
No, that was good. The funny thing was that you didn't realize was on this end, as you were saying, slow down. For some reason, your audio actually slowed down. Hey, looks like we may have been reconnected.
Yeah, I think so.
There.
I'm here by myself.
I'm sorry to have left you like that. Yeah,
I gotta look back at this podcast, the things I said while you were gone.
I'll have to get caught up with you to do that.
You'll have to do the edit.
I will definitely see it on the edit. So let me give that
Okay.
one back to you. Put that guy up and keep on trucking. So yeah, I mean, it is true that we need to not just slow down for people with disabilities, but slow down for each other because we actually don't know who has a disability.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
or
if you
I'm
look
sorry,
at,
if I say disability, what I meant is to follow along the line is what their unique feature is. Because everybody we just agreed is unique in their own way, and we don't know what that is. So we need to take time to learn that about people before we try to rush ahead. I think is what you were saying.
well, we need to look at each individual as each individual
Right.
and say, who is this person? Because of their background, because of their biology, because of their genetics, because of whatever.
Their gender. Yeah.
And people are people.
Right. And
Yeah.
they all have a
And
right.
one of my, yeah, we all have a something. We all have a something.
We all have a something. That's
Yeah.
going to be the slogan
Well,
of
and
Drawing
I
with
don't
Jack
know,
is we all have a something. Just so you guys know, look for the t-shirts that are coming out.
Yeah.
Draw. We all have a something.
We all.
Yeah. I mean, that's the revenue is going to go directly to my mom so that she has a retirement fund in case this teaching thing doesn't pan out.
There you go.
If the school system gets caught up in
Yeah.
Doge.
On your now.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I have once again derailed the conversation. Everyone has their thing, and we really should slow down so that we can learn what the thing is and we can work with it.
Okay, so we could say everybody has a special ability. We need to look at it for it.
I mean,
okay, what is
that is
special, unique about this person?
Right. Yeah, I enjoy, and it's probably the K through 3 teacher coming out in you for sure. That we want everyone to feel special. Also, sometimes like just having the thing, whatever the thing is, and guys, I'm not even going to call out what your thing is. If you want to comment below what your thing is, so you guys can start talking about it, that's awesome. You should do that. But the thing is, the thing sometimes that having that thing just sucks. Sometimes that like saying that it's special just like makes it like I don't know, more awful. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can give an example that everyone can relate to, regardless of who they are and what they are. I'll give a great example. All of us, we got to take that dump, right? Every single day. I mean, as often as we can. We've got to take it. But nobody really, I mean, there's some enjoyment because there's a satisfaction of relieving like the pressure in your body and getting junk out of your system. There's that, and it always feels good. But it's not like what people look forward to like every day of their life. They're like, you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I go take that thing, right? So to say that everybody now, I'm going to just say that taking the dump is the human unique thing that we do, or like the animal unique thing that we do. That's the thing. But like calling it special doesn't make it any less arduous a task to do on a regular basis, you know?
Right.
That was a long rabbit trail.
But we all do it differently.
Right, and we all do it differently. But I was just the thing was I was just cautioning against saying that it's special because that thing that we have to do whether it's the autism, or it's dealing with dyslexia, or it's being like blind, like it's unique, yes, 100%, but like it's not a superpower. Like it's sometimes just like a pain that we have to stop what we're doing and go take a dump, whatever our dump is, right?
Yes.
Right. So, and that's where like, I'm like, yeah, I want to be like, yeah, we have to find out what the special thing is. Right. But like, also I'm like, but I don't want to, if your special thing is depression, for instance, right? That's the thing that's unique about you. Like that is not like a special condition to have. You know what I mean? You don't want it. You'd like to get rid of it
Right.
as soon as possible. You got to work through the stuff that makes it happen, Um, so that's where I'm like, yeah, but like also you need to recognize when somebody like who has manic and depression episodes, like that they're gonna sometimes be different, and like you have to notice that. Because like if you just like you're like, oh yeah, all my Irish friends are like this, but actually your one Irish friend is ADD and he can't pay attention at all, right? Like you're like, there's no, yeah, that's not what Irish people are like. That's what this one unique guy with his one unique trait is. Sorry, that was a long rabbit trail. What you were saying is that everybody has a thing. Everybody has a thing that
Everybody has
we
a
have to be
thing.
patient with, and we have to understand before we can really get to like know them and work with them. Is that right?
Well, I think, okay, them, but I think that we have to look at letting people be who they are instead of trying to fit everybody into a mold.
And that's true with
Why does
autistic
everybody have
people
to fit a
and
mold?
non-autistic people, right?
Yeah, everybody is unique. And that's not special, but everybody is different.
Right, right.
But the world wants everybody to be the same because it's easier, it's more comfortable.
Well,
We
and
like it better
when you look at
because
large data sets
sticking out
and
like
you,
it.
sorry,
Right.
what was the last thing you just said?
I said we need to let everybody be different instead of pigeonhole 'em. I think when I now I forgot. I think when their thing sticks out, and then they're not walking, it's like, well, is my thing sticking out? I don't
Right.
want mine to
Yeah,
stick out.
if you see someone else's thing, you're
Right?
concerned about your own thing. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Um, gosh. And how do you propose? So your proposal is that if you have more interaction between the different groups of people, the more that they interact, the more comfortable they'll feel doing that. Is that right?
Standing. Yeah, well, they'll understand it more and they're not afraid of it. I had a little girl one time. Oh gosh, she's in college now. She's got to be 20. And she had what'd she have? She had braces on her legs, and I don't remember why. I think she had cerebral palsy.
Okay.
But she had little braces on her legs. And we were reading a story about, I think it's Catundra. And this cat had a limp. And so all the barnyard animals would like run away from her because
Hmm.
they were afraid of her. She was different.
Okay.
And they dared this little puppy to go up and lick her. And he did. And she's like, oh. And they got to be really friends. But then they're like, okay, so we're talking about differences in our classroom. And they're like, well, do you guys know anybody who's different than you? And they all said, like, no. And she looked at it, she goes, what about me and my braces? And they're like, oh.
That they hadn't,
But
yeah,
making it normal makes it less scary.
that
Talk
is
about it.
that is true. I had a really good
Yeah.
friend. He is a rapper. He goes by Many Faces is his name. If you guys want to look him up on SoundCloud, I
Oh,
bet he's still around because he was prolific. Um, my man, he had a tumor. He was born with a tumor on his face.
okay.
So, but when he was lucky because when he was really little, they were able to take it off of his face. But what it left was this like scar that ran from the top of his forehead through his eye down to his cheek, and it
Oh,
looked like somebody had put
yeah.
like a string in his cheek and then pulled it up towards his eye from the inside of his skull. So that he had this like divot that like poked upwards, right? Long scar. And I knew him. So I was in San Francisco when I ran into him, and we were in a place called the Omni Circus, which I don't believe exists anymore. Maybe it does. Maybe Frank Garvey got himself back together over there. But so I was bunking next to this guy because it was a theater that was also a place that we were living. And so I had one portion where the seats were, and he had the one that was next to me. And we were just hanging out. And I had known him for a couple of weeks at that time. And I was like, I said his name. I was like, Many Faces, like, where did that scar come from? And he's like, he told me the story, like, oh, it's a tumor, and this is what I look like now. Because the dude was an awesome guy, right? Like, just like the kindest man I had met. Like, he liked to have fun, he liked to joke. Like, he was just the friendliest dude you'd ever met. Also, could throw down at any moment if you were ready to do it, right? Like if you were gonna if you wanted to look for somebody to fight, like he'd be ready to fight. If you needed somebody to fight, he'd be ready to fight. And the scar that ran up his face like added to that he was like not only like would he, but he's ready to do it, but he looked like he was ready to do it. Like he was constantly snarling, and he didn't even have to like try to put on a sneer, you know. Um, but
Right.
for asking him about it, because I had known him for a couple of weeks, and there's a bunch of people who were, in the Omni Circus. There's like probably 20 people who were living there at that time in this little theater. Um, he asking him about it like made us friends because like once he was like, I knew what was going on, and he knew that I knew what was going on. Like he wasn't just looking at me staring at his scar because I was curious. Actually, it was like I'm open enough to talk about what you got going on, so that later, when other stuff was going on, we knew that we could trust each other because, like, we had already, like, I was like, oh yeah, cool, like, let me know what's going on. He would tell me, if we needed to like get stuff done. He was a really good friend of mine because of that, right? And so, like, it was just acknowledging the differences between the two of us that actually made us like bond. Um, I think you see that in like kids that are raised, like black kids and white kids that are raised, or Hispanic kids that are raised in the same neighborhood, where they're just all running around together and having fun, and they're not being like taught any biases. They have that same thing when they recognize, oh, you got dark skin and I got medium sized like skin, and then like, okay, cool, we're all good, and then now they're bros. Um, so yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
important to acknowledge our differences, right?
it is, but also like ask. I mean, I'm around a lot of people, but I ask. It's like, hey, can you tell me about that? But it's also just creating an understanding. Hey, I want to understand you. I want to understand your world. I care about you, and I'm not going to stare at it, you know?
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And I don't know. Okay. So it has some kind of difference that sticks out like that. Um, they'd have to comment, do you like that people care and want to ask, or would you rather they just like not? But a lot of people, like when we were kids, we were taught, not to ask the old person or whoever in the wheelchair, hey. But I taught you guys, no, ask them. They want you to care about them. That shows caring, not
yeah.
not
I mean,
meanness.
not mocking them, right? In the tone of actually, like, if you're like, dude, what's going on with you, right? But like, if you're like, dude, I mean, like, how did you get in that chair, right? It gives the opportunity to tell the story because, of course, they want to tell the story about, how they were a
Yeah,
World War II vet or whatever, right? Um, that man,
yeah,
R.I.P. World War II vets that are becoming fewer and fewer all the time. Um, so
yeah.
sorry,
Well, there
lost
was
my
an
grandpa earlier.
lady who had a, yeah,
Mm.
there was an
But
older lady who had a breathing machine, and she told your sisters, "This is because I smoked. Don't smoke."
that's that's good. That's useful.
Yeah, they want to. Well, okay, I'm not going to speak for all of them, but the
Right.
ones I've met want you to understand them, not see them as a freak or whatever.
Well, who doesn't want to be understood, right? Like if you, I asked my friend Many Faces, right? Um, in all curiosity and sincerity, and that's why we're bros, right? Like it wasn't because like I wanted him to be the character from Hunchback from Notre Dame, right?
Yeah,
A freak, I guess. Which that's awesome. So let me ask you this as a hypothetical then. If there was a kid or a set of kids, if there was a kid that you saw was kind of like beginning to go like alt right, like kind of like neo-Nazi, you see that he's growing his like little facial hair out and a little like square mustache under his nose. He's definitely like, shaving his head back. You see him like maybe he's got like a copy of Mein Kampf or whatever. Do you think that it would be a good idea or useful to him to put him in an all black school in the middle of like LA, like South Central or
Wow.
whatever it is now, just as a hypothetical? I mean, just
a hypothetical.
for the purpose of exposing him to something that a culture that he's not used to. So that he can see the value in diversity. I mean, that's what you're saying, right? Like showing, having some of your gen ed or gen, I don't know, he didn't say general population, but like, like the normies come interact with your class of like, Aspie kids, right?
Aspie kids. I don't call them that. So I force interactions. That's my evil plot.
Okay.
To make mine. I put mine out there so that they are kind of forced to interact, to make eye contact. Because then it wasn't thought. I actually found that when we put our big display of people with Asperger's, we put it on the big hallway between right outside the cafeteria. And we would go by there and people were actually reading it and going, oh, and we put like facts up and like, I bet you didn't know that this was an autistic characteristic, all kinds of stuff. But it was a big information thing. And people were like, oh, I didn't know that. And that teaching them and informing them about what it is takes the fear away, takes the hate away. Because they're scared. They don't know what to do with it. So for me, I would take that kid and I would have him research what he thinks it is.
What he thinks
this is about.
What he thinks black people are, what he thinks Nazis are.
What the racism is. Or what do you think Nazism is?
What the value of Nazism is.
Idea. Yeah, what is it? What do you think it is? Like I had a student, because we're in the South, and she had family members who were Ku Klux Klan way back.
Right.
Not now.
Hopefully.
She didn't know anything about it.
If they are, we probably don't know about it. They might be in the police union instead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
No, but research.
Oh yeah. So she looked. So okay, again, this is the same thing that you were saying before, the face the fear kind of thing, right? Like you're not afraid of a kid going neo-Nazi because you're going to encourage him to then take a closer look at it to see what he's actually spouting, to see if that has been a successful or good thing. Okay, all right. Now let me just clarify in case anybody is taking a weird soundbite from this conversation we're having. I did not just say that she's going to encourage people to, study neo-Nazism. That is not what I said in any capacity whatsoever. So if you're listening and you think that's what I said, you need to go back and listen again, because this is actually what I said, is that she would help somebody explore an idea so that they can see like the ramifications of it. If you look at Nazism, for instance, the neo-Nazism, it's about hate and what hate does. And what it's ultimately going to do, hopefully, is lead them to the Holocaust so they see what the destruction they brought on their own German people. And they realize that is a foolish thing to do. So if you think that I just said study neo-Nazism, again, go study for yourself and see what happens. Like, they killed a bunch of people and they became like recognized as the worst people in the world because you don't do that to people, especially not in mass. So there you go. If you're a Nazi, go punch yourself. Just go punch yourself if you're a Nazi. All right. Okay, but it is a good thing, right? Like, I mean,
at
like
dinner we were just.
Sorry.
We were talking about critical thinking.
Yes.
That's where you get critical thinking.
which
But
is
you have to gather all the information and all the aspects of it
yes,
and talk about it. And okay, where does this
100%.
go?
So
Is that what you really want?
what my guest here, Mrs. Manci, teacher extraordinaire, is referencing is the fact that since we're in the information age, we need to learn critical thinking skills, and the only way that we do it is by thoroughly examining a topic to see what it does, if it's good, if it's useful, and then compare it to what we know, which is good, what is kind, what is helpful. Right? Those are like the key things that we need to compare them to. Right? Does this build up humanity or does it tear it down? Right? Is it a useful thing for creating communities or does it just elevate the individual and destroy the rest of the world? Right? These are things that we have to critically think of every time that we get new information. So yeah, I'm glad that you're teaching that, right? Because you can't be scared of ideas. You have to look at them thoroughly to see if they're useful.
Scared of ideas, well, they're going to repeat themselves if we hide it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
If we ignore that they exist,
if we don't look at it.
So I was inviting on just special guests onto the show for their wisdom, and I'm glad that you're here to share your wisdom with us. Yeah, if we don't look at history and the things that happen, we will do it again. And the only way to do that is to not be scared and face our fears, the things that scare us.
Well, what was it really that happened? Because how many different views do you have of that?
Of the
people
Holocaust?
From different sides tell you different things.
True.
Of anything, slavery here, everywhere.
Right.
What was that?
People do have differing opinions, but there are things that actually happened and didn't actually happen, and it should be examined not what we want it to be, but what actually happened. For instance, people will try to claim that slaves love being enslaved, and the facts is that they didn't. So, in case anyone's trying to spin that comment in that direction, all right.
Okay, it could be a social issue.
It could be any social issue.
Any social issue. It can be.
Well, this is what the
human rights. It could be the women.
Absolutely. What I was ranting, the conclusion I came to on that rant was this: that a critical thinking skill you have to compare it to, is it good? Is it useful? Is it helpful? We have to be able to have those comparisons, right? Because you can come on any side of any issue.
Who does it further?
But yeah, exactly. We need to understand that. What is the goal of this thing, or what does it do? Does it build up or does it destroy? Because really, ultimately, that's what it's. And whatever the ideas are, we have to compare it to that. Because otherwise, we will just kill ourselves. That's the thing. That we have an opportunity to wipe out humanity with our ideas, and we're headed that way. And so we have to be very careful that we don't. And that's why we need critical thinking skills.
Well, and also we talked about it, on that 1,000,000-mile journey from Arizona to here.
Yeah, thanks. It was a long drive, guys.
Individual versus it was 20 hours one way.
And it came up a lot because this is something that concerns me quite a bit. And the audio, I don't think came in real clear, but I'm just going to make sure that we mention what the topic is right now, which is really neoliberalism, which is the individual is greater than the community. And you did have some thoughts. You said, I have to consider, right? I'm sorry, I was segueing back to you.
Consider, is it best for just me? Thanks, I caught it. Is it just best for me and my group of people, or is it best for most people, all people? Well, I don't think it's ever going to be best for all people.
We try for all people, but
it is to the most people.
I believe that the thought is, are we doing the maximum amount of benefit for the most people and the minimum amount of damage to the most people. And we need to compare any thoughts
Yeah.
that we have to that, because otherwise, once we start to destroy people and things, the destruction increases. The only way to decrease the destruction in the world, the amount of entropy that constantly exists, is to fight actively against it and create things that are about all of us doing the things. I mean, that's again just my opinion. But the only way you get more stuff is by creating more things. The only way you lose more things is by destroying more things. It's like so like I'm sorry, I did make it like so simplistic, but those are the facts, right? Like if you just chase ideas that are destructive, like hate, or ideas that are destructive, like that you don't care that you're burning up the atmosphere as it were, boiling the planet and ourselves alive, right? Because we need to make more money. You have to consider, like, is it good for most people or is it bad for most people? Like that's what we have to compare ideas to, and we have to like write laws and take actions in our daily lives, right, to injure the least amount of people while helping the most amount of people. I believe that's what you're saying. Is that right? You can
Yeah,
correct me. You
and
can
just
totally stop me. That
from
rant
my,
was ridiculous. So
I
thank you
think
for
it can
accepting that.
like, even individual decisions every day.
Yeah,
Why am I doing this? Is
yeah,
it for me, or how many people are going to get hurt? I mean, I could think of times in my lifetime that I would go, "God, why did I just do that?
right.
It hurt
Um,
so many people."
hurting people, and again, it's like
But that's
we we try not to. It's a hard thing. Aaron Kozbiel, my goodness, it is good to see that you're on drawing with Jack. We don't have Jack here today,
Good.
but meet my mother. I believe that you have met before. Is that right? This is Susie Manci. She's on drawing with Jack. I'm interviewing her on autism today. How are you?
well, that's actually
So
Hey,
this is a you guys haven't met, right?
um, I mean, I think uh, remember our road trip
Yeah, that's why I
to
think
Arizona?
you could have possibly met. Did we pass through
We
Flagstaff?
could have.
You met Jessica
We went to
Landis.
Flagstaff.
Yeah, if we did,
Yeah.
then you definitely have met my mom before. This is fantastic. This is a great moment for everybody. Meet one of my oldest and greatest friends. Mama. This is Aaron Cosbill. So the reason that Cox in Space has come out of the trash can and into reality. Um, how are you today, buddy?
Yeah. Hey, sorry, I fell asleep and I only got like 3
Aha!
hours last night because I went
You
to
the Weird
see
Al
Weird Al
concert.
Yankovic and
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you want to give us an update?
man, that was it. He puts on the best comedy show in existence.
Well, we saw some of your
Um,
photos, and
and
we have a couple of questions. What do you mean it was the best
yeah,
comedy show in existence?
I mean, his songs are always top notch, but also
Absolutely.
he does all the costume changes. He pairs it with lots of clips for when he's doing those costume changes, and it works flawlessly. And this is probably like the fourth time I've seen him live. Um,
And it's
and
always
yeah,
top notch, is what you're saying.
yeah, so worth it. But only had 3 hours of sleep last night, and so when I came home from work, I crashed on the couch, and then I was like, "Oh no, I missed drawing with Jack," and I was like, "I won't. They're probably still there. I could hop on."
Yeah. And actually, that's why I stayed on tonight. I just wanted to be here in case anyone was showing up late, and that we still had an episode of Drawing with Jack, um, without Jack,
Yeah.
but with an episode of Drawing with Jack running in the background. So I did have a question for you
Oh,
about.
without Jack?
Yeah. So unfortunately, Jack's internet is jacked. And
Okay.
we will
Again.
be, yeah, we will be going. They have a technician coming out this very night to make it work. And so hopefully Sunday we'll be back on schedule. All of us will be
Okay.
here together with our bells on. Also, let's give a shout out tomorrow night. composing with Chandler. We're gonna have Kate Leo on, so I'm excited. I'm sorry, not tomorrow night, Saturday night. Saturday night, what's happening?
Saturday.
8:30 ish on the Discord, so you can come check it out if you want to. This episode won't be up in time, unfortunately, but if you're somehow listening with your psychic abilities to the stream, I am an absolute idiot. All right, so I had some more questions about the Weird Al Yankovic show. If we could go back to that.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
So that fat costume, for one, for I'm fat,
Yeah.
you know it, because of course that's what that costume was, right? The whole fat suit, makeup, and everything.
Yeah.
How long
Yep.
did that take
It was
for
the
him
fat-
to get into? Like, how long was he gone between songs for that?
Like, it's got to be like there was maybe a minute clip between songs.
No way.
Like there was within a minute. Like,
so further
everything.
questions. How articulated is his mask? Is it he has a fat mask on and he's singing through it still?
It looks like it was like prosthetics that you were able to just like throw on your face.
Oh, so they glue it on real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, so if it's under a minute, he has a whole like makeup team backstage.
He's got to like
Because that's
makeup
I don't know.
and-
Have you ever applied prosthetics like that? Like to your nose, face, lips, eyebrows?
I have.
No, it's arduous.
Yeah, I've never.
And you need to put it on correctly or it doesn't stay. And you need to hold it for an amount of time. So like if he was doing it himself, you'd have to have like 6 hands in order to do that in a minute. Just to give a point of reference.
Yeah, that. Like he has to have a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like he thought to himself one point, he was like, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do fat in a fat suit. And then he was like, oh man, I'm going to have to hire like 3 guys. That's Weird Al's voice in my head. He sounds like that when he talks.
I mean, doing theater, I know how I know that a quick costume change and makeup change is possible.
Right. You know it's possible. You also know it's a pain. It's like in order to pull them off, you have to know the routine of getting off stage. Yeah, exactly. Did I mention
there is
Mrs. Manci that Aaron Kozbial is a theater nerd, and not only that, but a musical theater nerd. So if you want to talk about quick changes that are necessary, yeah, musical theater is the place that happens.
Yeah.
So there's a musical of live action Shrek musical.
Did you see it?
And have you seen the movie Shrek?
Yes.
All right. So within a second, they're able to change Fiona from human Fiona to ogre Fiona.
They do that on stage?
Like within moments.
You comes back on as
like a poof, and like I don't even know how they do it.
It's got to be a switch. It has to be 2 different actresses.
No, not 2 different actors. It's the same actors because she's singing. So
she's doing it while she's singing.
It's the same person. Like, and you can tell that it's her. Like,
she's doing it while she's singing.
No, it's while she's there. There's like a poof of smoke, and in that like poof of smoke, like they change her to look to her ogre self.
Okay, but how do you know they're not switching actresses? But how do you know they're not switching actresses?
Same facial features, I guess. Like I guess you could make her a twin, but I don't think that actress has a twin.
Right, but like somebody who looks similar. I mean, there's definitely. I mean, oh man, this is gonna sound like the most sexist thing ever, but I'm gonna say it. There's a lot of theater girls that look alike, man. Like especially musical theater girls. Come on, there's a type. So you could get like very similar types. Like there's some like headshots you'd be like, dang, are they sisters? Let's cast them as Shrek and Fiona. You know.
Yeah,
So that's,
dude.
I mean, unless you have like, what's your explanation that she changes out of makeup in a second and loses her wig in a second?
Well, it's changing. It's the change into from human to ogre. So it would just have to be putting on the makeup.
Oh,
While
okay. I'm
everybody
sorry. I am so, I don't know why I remembered the movie Shrek where she turns into a human. That's not a thing that happens. She's the redhead the entire time, and that's the whole twist. Man, Aaron Kozbial, once again, thank you for being co-host on Drawing with Jack because you bring the facts and I bring the nonsense on this show. As we were calling out earlier. Hey, Cosbill's my fact man because I cannot stop cracking jokes and making dumb comments. So okay, so what you're saying is they're applying green face to her and earbuds and a wig in seconds.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
you could do that with a
like
team of like 10 people, but it's like that you have to be on point. Also, yeah, you have to be on point because you guys can't get into each other's way and you've got to make it happen.
yeah,
How are they doing that makeup?
it's like it,
Mrs. Manci, any thoughts on the makeup in the makeup
It's not
department?
like-
Is it a mask they put over her face, maybe like a thin rubber mask? That would be the
Could it
fastest.
be something they have in her face and then they create a light that gives her a green hue?
I don't think so. I think he's saying full makeup. She steps out into the light in full makeup because that would be a stunning effect for sure.
yeah. Let me
Okay,
see if
you've got
that's
me. I'm looking it up. Struck the musical,
yeah,
Fiona transformation. Also, Aaron,
yeah.
I'm so excited to get together and finish
It's in the
episode 2.
finale.
Finale. This is it. Okay. I mean, I didn't want to see the whole finale. Let me just, okay. I just want to see that. Oh, there it is.
As
And
dragons.
we're back. That's
There we
awesome.
go.
So one
There
of
you
my
go.
favorite features of Drawing with Jack is that from time to time I totally drop off the face of the earth, and everybody who's on the channel just gets to chat and have a good time, which I think
Yeah.
everybody benefits from. So I don't see any downsides to this moment. Did you guys get to see the transformation?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay, so it kind of dragged. All right, so I'm going to try to do a couple of things. I just because I watched the transformation, it is pretty cool. I see the amount of time that you're talking about. Like it is like within like 15, 20 seconds. Like it's real quick.
Oh.
Maybe shorter, like maybe 10. But they do a thing where they shine the light in your eyes. Let me just share it. Let me not talk about it. We'll just share it with you so we can try to watch it again. It's fun.
Cool.
And it is fun. Here we go. This is her kind of like doing her thing. Yeah, that starts like 6:43. It runs 53. So there she is transformed. Everybody get on board. Cool. So about 10 seconds, right? So she has about 10 seconds that it takes this transformation. So
Yeah.
I'm still voting rubber suit.
They throw a rubber suit on her whole face and everything.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it has a mouthpiece that they just like is open so she can sing, and they just color those parts in real quick. Because look at her ears, right? In the hair. And then also her hands too. They look like they're in some like gloves of some sort. Um, obviously good on stage
Yeah.
because you have that distance to it. But like look, because here's her
Yeah.
face here. Do you see it? And look at her nose, especially. See, this is her what she looked like before. And so if it's not that, then I'm definitely going to vote body swap still. But like, okay, you guys seeing her?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to switch over real quick.
I can dig the like full body prosthetic type thing.
It would be the quickest.
That would be quick enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
homie, when you're like, it's just a moment, I was like, there's no way they're pulling that off. First of all, because I was dumb and didn't realize that you meant something else completely. But secondly, because that's a really complicated maneuver to pull off in 10 seconds. Um, so
You know,
I'm going
Yeah.
to
just
there's Jack joining our conversation for just a second. I'm gonna vote that way. It's headcanon for me. You guys are welcome to have that as your headcanon if you want to. Also, if somebody knows how they actually pull that off, comment down below because I would like to know for sure because that's an interesting thing to do. If it's not a rubber mask, I would definitely like to know how that was pulled off. Um, so that was my big question for the Weird Al Yankovic um, gig. So that means that he only needed about 10 seconds and whatever she did to make that happen in that blackout, because he could switch into that fat suit that quick.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's basically wearing a type of fat suit,
Yeah.
right? Like it bulked her up, like it gives her like face that ogreish appearance. What was your favorite
Yeah.
song?
And with the fat suit, you just have to. Oh,
Sorry, no, it's okay. You can finish your thought. I would like to hear it. The fat suit, you can just.
a fat suit, you could just like have the fat suit like walk into it, like,
Right.
and you just have like that full bodysuit. Like it's just something you just like put your arms into and have a team like lock it up around you.
Yeah, and
Um,
then
and
glue the
then
mask to your face.
apply a bit of face makeup, or whatever, like a face product prosthetics.
So
Um,
I can't remember. He was wearing shades, right?
um,
It would be a Michael
he,
Jackson look if he did. I'm not positive. But for the ogre, she needed her mouth open so that she could put it in and then they glued that in place quickly, and then painted her face at the same time. That's only one person. She just need one for the eyes too. So I'm thinking he's probably doing the fat suit the same way then. Do you do you
yeah,
remember
it's got to be the
I mean, like it's similar, right? Like the transformation into an ogre, the fat man photo. I showed that to my mom this morning when I
yeah,
saw it,
yeah,
and she said, "Oh, Weird Al has definitely gotten old, huh?" Because that look for him is hilarious.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's like in his 60s now, isn't he? Something like
Um,
that.
I
Uh,
you're the fact checker. No, I'm just messing. I'm gonna look it
yeah,
up. Um,
I
you're the super fan. Why are you asking me? Um,
I
so
don't know.
65 actually,
He's
65.
65 years old.
65. So,
65.
not to call you out, but like, right, similar to age to the 65-year-olds who listen to the show and may or may not be on the show. Um, so,
Yes.
Right.
and what
We're
was your
old
favorite song,
fashioned.
Eric? Was that or past? Yeah, which is awesome.
Um.
I mean, staying active and doing
Oh.
things as long as you can, I think, is a very awesome thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's important. Like, Mel Brooks is just putting out Spaceballs 2,
He's
and
doing it.
he's 99 or something, or 98.
Wait, you saying? Are you
Like,
saying
and I
that?
hope that I'm still putting out stuff.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Like always be doing stuff.
Yeah, because
And
if you're not, you're not living.
99, then you're, yeah, you're still having fun and putting stuff into the world, and affecting it,
Right. That is
and
interesting. It's
that's
as if
enjoyable.
you had been hearing our conversation in your sleep, because that was the conversation we're having. That it's the most human to look into the world and interact with it. That's what we are as
Yeah.
beings, right? I don't even know if it's just humans. I think that I see all creatures kind of do that. I think it is the essence of what the God is to, see the world and interact with it.
Yeah, and I think that's what being alive is.
You and I
Uh,
said the same thing with different
like,
words, but thank you for being more succinct. Being alive is that. Yeah.
yeah.
So tell
But
me,
to answer your other question, which is my
yes,
favorite song,
yes, thank you.
uh, his he does. It's not like one of the super famous ones, but everything you
Okay,
know is wrong.
I love that song. That's actually my favorite Weird Al song.
Yeah, it's always been my favorite. So, because he'll just like, it's so creative.
Yeah.
Because he gets abducted by aliens, he dies and meets Saint Peter, and it just tells a whole story, and it's very fun.
I don't know if you're seeing me do this, but we're about to listen to that track because that is this is the first Weird Al album that I heard. A friend of mine who I thought was like really thug gave it to me. He was a huge dork actually and a great guy. I think he's dead now, but R.I.P. Justin. But yeah, this is the song off that album that I was like, I get it. It gets me. You know, there's an artist out there who understands.
My
I'm
favorite
sorry.
things is the accordion solo.
I didn't mean to duck out from that. I apologize so much. Nope, that's not it. There it is. Song now. I apologize.
So when he does his show, and you said he plays all the instruments,
Well, not all.
does he like have tracks that he's played, or does he have people with him?
Oh, he has a full band.
Which is amazing, right? Like artist
and
traveling with a full band, which means he's paying all those musicians. Good for him. Love Weird Al.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got like a few guys that have always been with him, and then he had some extras who played that sax and trombones and all sorts of other things.
That's a fun concert, man. I mean, even if you don't like parody songs, that's a fun concert.
Yeah, and one of them like then would dressed up as Lucy for his "I Love Lucy" song.
I did see photos of that.
Yeah.
So
everybody's involved, and a lot of them do the like Weird Al will do a big costume change, but then also everybody will do like minor costume changes, like especially for the Star Wars at the end.
Gotcha. I saw he was wearing looked like Yoda robes, and I was like, "Wow, that's fun." What was everyone else wearing?
So like, see if I can. So like the ladies were wearing either like Leia or Padme or like Ray from the new movies type type garb. Others were wearing like Jedi robes.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Man, Weird Al Yankovic. Well, we've been spending most of this episode talking about weird little guys, so it's fitting that you came in, more or less, the last end of the show, to talk about Weird Al, because I mean, all right. So, as a professional in the field, Mrs Manci, where would you think that Weird Al falls on the spectrum of autism
No,
or
they
Asperger's?
say that diagnosis. I only work with people. I don't diagnose.
Oh, right. So, do you think that he would end up in your class, and that he would be somebody that you might want to take under your wing and introduce to people, so he was less weird, or like they were more accepting of him being weird?
Well, I don't think he's weird.
Oh, really?
I think he's. I
think that's a hot take in the Weird Al community. Wouldn't you say that to say that Weird Al is not weird is? Well, Aaron, what do you think, buddy?
I mean, I think most people can be a weird, wonderful version of themselves, and I think Weird Al has found that.
That's
like wow. There's positive weirdness, and then there's negative weirdness.
Yes,
and it's a spectrum of weirdness, and like Weird Al presents his most positive forms of weirdness.
I'm gonna high five you because again, you couldn't possibly have been listening to this conversation unless you were somehow getting the internet into your brain while you slept, which would be a thing that I guess I don't wouldn't put past you, but I just don't think you're capable of right now. Maybe you've
Yeah, I
been
don't
replaced
know how
by
to
a
do
future
that.
version who
My
did
phone
that.
was near me. But yeah.
But that's kind of what we were talking about is like the point is regardless of whether you have a diagnosis, you don't have a diagnosis, or like what the thing is that you're struggling with in your life, or that's the thing that's like always been the thing that's like, just makes you awkward around people and you wish people wouldn't notice about you. That like it's important for us to just present the best version of that to each other, right?
Yeah.
So that we and like look for that in one another and just like continue to do that. I was thinking how cool it is
Be the
that
best version of yourself.
yeah. That you mentioned that you don't think that Weird Al is weird because everybody's a little bit weird, right?
Well, it he is weird in his like in his presented way.
Right.
Um which uh if you look at what might be considered normal, he isn't. Because he's but it's also kind of weird to be a positive force in the world.
That is true. Susie, is that
And
what you're
he is.
saying when you meant that it was like that he's not weird because because of that? Like that it's not weird to be positive.
Oh no, it's
Well, see
weird.
that
It's super weird to be
I
positive.
mean, sorry, that's
Uh
yeah, well, but it's not I'm sorry. I'm kind of like mixing. It's not a bad thing. Being weird isn't a bad thing, especially if you're doing it for a positive reason, right? That's kind of more in line with what the
yeah,
thought was.
yeah. It's good. Being weird and using your weirdness for the good of everyone.
Yeah.
Uh I mean, trying to do good for everyone is weird. It's not something that like a lot of people think about. I mean, they'll generally
That
think of themselves as like
altruist.
a good person, but like not everybody actively tries to do good for others. Uh, Trying to do actively good for others is not something normal people do, but they could
Right,
and
but they
probably
can't.
and definitely should.
Right.
Uh,
Well, it's cool to see that Weird Al has become he was counterculture, right? But he's actually become an icon of the culture, right? There's like
yeah,
Weird Al is very American culture. He doesn't grow up anywhere else.
yeah. I mean, he everybody like most of the people there were wearing Hawaiian shirts, me included. Uh, and it was just and it's great because there was so many people my age with kids who were like 10, 11, 12, and I mean my first concert was Weird Al too when I was that age.
That's awesome.
um
Yeah, I was trying to explain, or at least the question was asked of me at dinner tonight, what it was the group that I was trying to hit, right? And that Weird Al group of people, they come from all walks of life. They just
yeah,
they enjoy the fact that we are unique and that we are odd, right? That's the type of people that we're looking at it and we're like, oh, cool. It's a generation that's bringing the generation to this weirdness. It's become like a form of culture. And that's the thing that we've been doing we want to do with Cox in Space. Like that's the intent behind Cox in Space. Like spreading happiness across the universe is what the importance is. Doing the most good and the least amount of damage, right? That's what
exactly.
we're doing. We're like joining the movement, the Weird Al movement with Cox in Space. Like we're like, yes, you should be the best version of yourself. I've always been motivated by Mr. Rogers myself because, and I also know you are too. Mr. Rogers is a dear person in my
He's
heart.
huge.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's just like, we need to be kind and we need to reach out to one another and understand each other's differences and how we are unique and how we can work together with that and how that makes us beautiful, right? That, the diversity is a great thing for humanity. Um,
yeah. I
yeah,
always was enamored by the trolley and the land of make believe, and
that
that
doesn't
the land
surprise
of
me.
make believe was a place that you could go to,
Yes.
and it was alive.
Yes. As it's been said in a popular meme, let me take off my sweater and go disassociate for a while. Which is, I mean, if you look at Mr. Rogers' life, that's what he actually gets to do. I mean, like, so who can be upset about that? You and I get to do that. As soon as I get off work, we're like, let's go make up a fantasy about chickens.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh man, I really missed you, dude. Like, I
Yeah.
went to this funeral, and it was sad to see our grandma go, or like, like
Yeah.
our family member go, but at the same time we got to have our family together, and so it was really amazing. So of course, like, I was like, and I'm missing out of like hanging out with my best friends, like when we get to just make art and joke about
But
pussies.
you're getting to see family in a way that you don't always get to.
Yeah, no, I cherished
Uh,
every moment of it. Like, I wasn't regretting the fact that I wasn't getting to hang out with you, but at the same time missed
Yeah.
hanging out with you while I was having a very
Yeah.
fantastic time hanging out with my family. So I was like, what I'm really excited for is when
What?
we die and or the universe collapses, that we all go to the place where we're all together and we just get to hang out together until it explodes again. I'm just like,
Yeah.
for me, that's like, I mean, I'm really enjoying life, but the thing that I enjoy most about life is when we get together and we just love and like just care for one another, right? Like, best feeling in the entire world. You cannot replace it with anything else. Like, if you're wondering out there, why am I so lonely? It's because you're not in a group of people that cares about one another. That's why you're lonely. Like, if you're hanging out with people who enjoy each other's company and want to like make things, you're gonna have a better time in your life. You're just gonna celebrate being alive. But then at the same time, you don't get to hang out with everybody at the same time. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for what we call heaven, right? But it's also really just the physics of the collapse of the universe into a one-dimensional ring where like we're just the same thing all together vibrating. I'm just very excited for it. I believe we'll still be conscious. I don't believe that the God would create consciousness to destroy consciousness. Like, you'd only let it like exist for a blip. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's coming out of somewhere and it's going back into something. We're like sealed off from it for a time.
Yeah. Oh man,
Anyway,
have you
that
seen
was
Pete
that was the
Holmes' bit
religious
on
part of
that?
the show where we rant about stuff that's kind of like philosophical sometimes. Sorry, Aaron Kozbial?
Have you seen Pete Holmes' bit on that?
No. Do you want to
Oh
do a
man, let me
summary of
look
it,
that up.
or
Uh,
how long is it?
I might be able to. It's like within like a shorts.
Okay,
Like
so Pete
so.
Holmes, like, collapse of the universe, heaven sketch. Okay, that's what comes
Here, let
up when
me
I
put
type
that
that.
in.
So,
Pete
heaven
Holmes,
bride.
nothing.
Pete Holmes,
Here.
nothing. Okay, gotcha. I don't even know who Pete Holmes is, so nothing makes sense.
He was you remember that Batman?
Oh, are
Sketch?
you sharing? You're sick, dude. You're doing the sharing right now. I'm so proud of you that we're both sharing at the same time. All right, let me. No, that was me.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I just put it into the general chat.
That's okay. I'm gonna grab it there and then look it up real quick. Yeah, that's like sweet. Let me see if I can. Yeah. I had not seen this. Kitty, kitty, it's good to see you too. Get that mute unmuted.
Created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist? Nothing. That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist. So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty goddamn magical fucking nothing, you guys.
Like, right?
And ask the nothing people, what happens when you die? They'll tell you, nothing. You go into nothing. I'm like, you mean you merge back with your creator? That's heaven, bitch.
Right,
Some people think God created the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's I mean,
it's a great bit.
it's a great bit.
And it's
And he's like walking that line of like corrupt and wholesome. You know what I mean? Like it's just like he's telling the truth but messing
Yeah.
around. Like it's just that is a fun type of truth. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
So y'all had fun, which is good. And you just got back late, which is also good. I'm excited to finish that episode up with you on next week, man, Monday.
Yeah.
Like that is we're gonna finish episode 2, which is sad and also awesome. Like um sorry?
Yeah, it's always both of those things,
Yeah.
because like we've been playing around in the dog part of the universe,
Yeah.
and episode 3 we'll get to explore a musical nebula,
I'm looking forward to
and
it. That episode to me is definitely becoming the highlight, although it seems like every episode we write is definitely a highlight to me. So um really, yeah, we didn't know what the dog pirate episode was going to look like, and now we have it. And those of you who are listening, listen for we're going to drop an actual recording of this episode, starring some of our favorite cast members from Facebook group and other actors that we have met doing voices. There's a lot of pirates in it, and it's about the pirates trying to steal the booty from the queen. It's called The Bitch's Booty. It's going to be fun. So I'm excited. It's going to be coming out probably in a couple of weeks. So once we get it written, we're going to get it cast and put it on its feet because I want to hear it. I'm just excited. So aren't you excited to hear hear the completed
like
script?
like everything's gonna come to life, and
Yeah,
everybody's gonna bring their own like interpretations to their character, and
100%.
I'm really excited for that.
Totally.
Because everybody's doing their art together,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things I like about theater in general, and
Yes.
everything theater related.
Yes.
Um,
It's the one thing that I've missed more than anything else in my life. Like I turned 40 and I was like, you know what I miss more than anything? Creative collaboration. That's it. That's it. Like if I have that for the rest of my life, I'm set. Like I could be like, okay, cool. Well, we're living in this theater and we're only eating the leftover stage that they have here because we don't need it anymore. But we are creating collaboratively. This is what we're doing. I'd be
yeah,
pretty much set on that. So um, hopefully that's not the case. We are looking for sponsors. This is our ad break, by the way. We're going to take a little ad break right here, right before the end of the episode. If you want to sponsor us, you can. You can reach out to us on our socials at coxinspace.com. We're all listed up there, or most of us are. And once we start casting for the show, we'll put them up there too, so you can get in contact with all the actors and actresses and everyone else that we're working with, so you can see who it is, what we're doing, and why you should definitely fund us, because Cox in Space is a fun and fantastic show. Drawing with Jackson is one of those. So head on over to coxinspace.com. That's coxinspace.com. And then you could get your sponsorship right here, or basically anywhere you want in the episode. And we can feature it with like images and stuff and tell them how good it is. Because we love the things that you sell. I mean, I do. Don't you guys?
yeah,
I
I
mean,
love things.
I love things that people sell. So
Yeah,
um,
that means that they created a thing,
I
and
mean, which
that's
is
a
exactly.
respectable thing to create a thing.
And that's all we're really about, is we're creating a thing that is fun and brings good to the universe. So if you're down with that, we're down with you, and you should come talk to us about that sort of thing. We will be back with Drawing with Jack next on Sunday, as we talk to with Jack. So stop on by in the Discord if you are around and want to do that, and then we'll be doing that later this week. We're going back on schedule. So I'm excited. Mrs. Nancy, thank you for being here. Of course, my mom, I love you. And it was great. It was great to talk with you. You were so nervous, and actually, that was fantastic. Like we got some like great information. If you guys want to talk about autism more, you can do that in the comments, of course. So do that and get talking. And yeah, Aaron, do you have anything coming up that you want people to come
Teach me.
see you?
Man, Nothing. August 1st, I'm headlining at Crackpot's Comedy Club in Massillon, Ohio.
This is what I love about Aaron
My
Kozbial.
first club.
He's just like,
Uh,
yeah, what was it? Can't remember. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm headlining on August 1st. I forgot. I had
Yeah.
a gig that I'm gonna,
Well, that's
they're
fine.
lining up to
August
see
1st, which
me.
is next month.
Okay. There. Okay, so we have 30 days. So get your tickets now. Going fast.
Yeah,
So
crackpots.com.
Crackpots. Cool. Crackpots.com.
Is their website.
So, but you don't have any shows coming up in July. Is this the dreaded slowdown?
I think so Crackpots is having like a fun ceremony thing like July 13th.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You did say you're going to that. Yep.
Yeah. And that's about all I've got really this month.
Okay. Well, that changes, right? Like people will hit you up sometimes like a week in
Yeah,
advance.
I mean, it's also probable that I will have shows, and I just don't know it yet.
So reach out to Aaron Kozbial. Do you have any further thoughts on autism or bringing good into the world? Woman, do you have anything that if you want to close out this episode with?
I would say just look at each person as an individual and try to understand them.
Yeah, those are
Don't-
true facts. So yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Mrs. Smith, for being here, and Aaron Kozbial. Of course, we can hang out more, but I'm gonna close out that episode. Thank you again for listening. If you have listened to this point, and like, comment, share, all of that. We love you guys. Talk to you later.
Excellent.
Yeah.